Ladies and gentlemen, as a matter of respect for others, we request that all cell phones, pagers, and other electronics be switched to vibrate or turned off during the course of this meeting. As set out in Board Operating Procedures, Section 2E, inappropriate audience participation. When a member or members of the public are disruptive, they will receive a verbal warning from the presiding officer. When a member or members of the public continue with a second infraction, the presiding officer will ask security to escort the person or persons out of the room and/or off the premises, and he, she, or they may not return during that meeting. The May 13th board meeting is called to order at 6 p.m. We have a quorum with Ms. Dueñas, Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Woodruff, Mrs. Reyes, and myself, Patricia McLean. Trustee Lewis is unable to attend this meeting. Trustee Woodruff will read the color guard script to prepare the presentation of colors by Bel Air High School Junior ROTC.
It has become a tradition to honor our nation at each of our board meetings by presenting the colors, reciting the pledges of allegiance, and then posting the colors. The colors tonight are being presented by the Junior ROTC Color Guard from Bel Air High School. The Color Guard commander is Cadet Damian Castaneda. The other Color Guard members are Cadet Zeke Niederhauser, Cadet Alon Ornelas, Cadet Triana Pacheco. The pledge leader is Vanessa Carrillo, a 6th grade student at Ranchland Hills Middle School. Will you please stand for the presentation of the colors, the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance, the Texas Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence. Please remain standing until all the cadets have departed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now join me in the pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please join me in a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Colors, halt, center, face, face, forward, arm.
Great job. You may be seated. Dr. De La Torre, do we have recognitions this evening?
Madam President. Yes, Madam President, members of the board. Guest, Ms. Patricia Ayala, Director of Public Relations, will introduce our recognitions this evening.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent De La Torre. We have several recognitions for you this evening. At this time, we ask that you please come to the front of the dais for the presentations. We also ask audience members to please remain seated until we have finished today's recognitions. Thank you. Our first recognition is in honor of Hanks High School student Alexandra Salcido, the winner of the 2015 Congressional Art Competition for District 16, which was represented by Congressman Beto O'Rourke. As the winner, Alexandra's artwork will hang in the hallways of the U.S. Capitol for 1 year, and she will be flown to Washington, D.C. to see the installation of her artwork. Let's hear it for Alexandra Salcido. Alexandra is accompanied by art teacher Ms. Lorena Williams and principal Ms. Gloria Spencer. I'd like to add that Ms. Williams is the art teacher who has had 3 consecutive winners in the last 3 years at this national competition. Let's hear it again for Alexandra. Our next recognition is in honor of 7 Baylor High School students who won first place and second place in several law enforcement and public safety categories at the Texas Public Service Association competition. Congratulations go out to all these talented students. Let's give a round of applause to Ashley Luevano. Kenya Para. Vanessa Medina. Marisela Vasquez. Jacob Martinez. Sarah Fernandez. And Gibrana Munoz. The students are accompanied by teachers Sergio Martinez and Ms. Roxanne Parker, as well as Principal Mr. Luis Martinez. Let's have another round of applause to these outstanding students. Our next recognition is for Valley View Middle School, the only school in El Paso to be named a Texas School to Watch in 2015 by the Texas Middle School Association. The campus was honored for its academic excellence, responsiveness to student needs and interest, and commitment to helping all students achieve at all levels. Congratulations to Valley View Middle School on its outstanding programs and campus. Here to accept the recognition is Principal Ms. Penny Bankston. Accompanying her are assistant principals, Ms. Selena Munoz and Mr. James McIntyre. Let's hear it again for Valley View Middle School. Our next recognition is in honor of 4 seniors who are among 1,000 students nationwide to receive the Gates Millennium Scholarship. This is a full-ride scholarship that can be used at any college or university of their choice. Let's hear it for these outstanding students. From Eastwood High School, let me congratulate Brittany Barnes. Let's also hear it for Nathaniel Goodwin. The students are accompanied by Principal Armenia Smith. From Parkland High School, let's hear it for Alejandro Diaz. Alejandro is accompanied by Go Center Specialist, Ms. Mirela Pasillas, Counselor, Ms. Teresa Ordóñez, and Assistant Principal, Mr. Walter Keys. Last but not least, let's hear it for Valle Verde Early College High School student, Enrique Maya. Enrique is accompanied by Principal Paul Covey. Come on, let's hear it one more time for these outstanding scholars. Our next recognition is in honor of Eastwood High School gymnast Dianalise Tirado, who captured the gold in the vault event at the Texas High School Gymnastic Coaches Association competition in Fort Worth. She also won a bronze medal event and ended the meet in 6th place overall. Let's hear it for Dianalise Tirado. Dianalise is accompanied by Coach Christian Carrasco and Principal Armenia Smith. Let's hear it for Dianalise. Our next recognition is in honor of Bel Air High School student Brian Gonzalez, who won a gold medal in the 400-meter dash at the Texas 5A Regional Championship in Lubbock. As a result, Brian will compete next week at the Texas 5A State Championship in Austin. Let's hear it for Brian Gonzalez. Brian is accompanied by Coach Rene Silva and Principal Luis Martinez. Let's hear it again for Brian. At this time, our student recognitions, and trustees may return to their seats on the dais. Will Superintendent Dr. De La Torre and Trustee Marty Reyes please remain on the floor for a special recognition? After 14 years of outstanding service, this is one of the last board meetings in which Ms. Reyes will serve as a trustee for the Ysleta Independent School District. Therefore, our final recognition tonight is in honor of Trustee Reyes. Begin with a presentation of a gift basket by student council members from our flagship high school and Ms. Reyes' alma mater, Ysleta High School. Please help me welcome to the podium Ysleta High School senior, Sarah Batson.
The Ysleta High School learning community is proud to be the flagship of the district. From its humble beginnings in 1915, the Ysleta High School learning community has grown to be a distinguished leader and example, having produced thousands of exemplary citizens through quality education. The class presidents of Ysleta High School stand before you now to give a warm and well-deserved thanks to Ms. Martha Marty Reyes. We are proud to have Ms. Reyes represent us as a product of Ysleta High School and its feeders. The Ysleta High School motto, once an Indian, always an Indian, is all about our students learning to be productive members of society while knowing to give back to their community. Ms. Reyes is a true example of this, as she has served proudly as our area trustee for 14 years, giving the community she holds near and dear to her heart. We are grateful to give her all, to her for giving her all to the Ysleta learning community over the years, always putting children first. Once an Indian, always an Indian.
Ms. Reyes, don't go anywhere, please. You can come back to the center with Superintendent. Throughout her years of service, Trustee Reyes has worked tirelessly to support all Ysleta ISD students. She worked diligently to oversee the completion of the Playa Drain project, which covered the unsightly water canal, high school and South Loop Elementary. Perhaps her most important contribution came in 2007 when she brought a rollback election to a vote of the board. Ms. Reyes saw the importance of setting a tax rate to ensure additional state funding and served as the committee chair and the initiative. Ms. Reyes, your unwavering loyalty to this district has not gone unnoticed. We would like to thank you for the 14 wonderful years of devoted service to our students. Your knowledge, experience, and guidance will be greatly missed. At this time, our cabinet members would like to present you with a personal gift to commemorate your service on the Ysleta Independent School District Board of Trustees. Are you leaving it out? Put it in the middle. Before we conclude tonight's recognition, it's important to note that Ms. Reyes holds the record in this millennium for the longest continuous service as a YISD trustee. During her tenure, Ms. Reyes has served in every board officer capacity and was also named Ysleta High School's Honored X in 2004. In high school athletics, students earn varsity letters if they have made a significant contribution to the team. Marty Reyes has gone above and beyond the call on many occasions. She has made some very tough decisions in her 14 years as a trustee, but no matter how difficult, she has always had the courage to do the right thing. In recognition of her achievements and outstanding contributions to the team, we would like to award her a one-of-a-kind custom Ysleta School District varsity letter jacket. At this time, will the Ysleta High School students also come back and take a photo with Ms. Reyes and the cabinet team? Thank you. This concludes our... We have one more recognition. Ms. Limon has asked to make a presentation. So don't breathe, Marty. No, just kidding.
Good evening, Dr. De La Torre, President McLean, honorees. It is my pleasure to come before you this evening. Marty, 14 years is a long, long time, and you've done an outstanding job for the children of this district. Worked under numerous superintendents, always had a passion for the good of the children. So today, when you leave the underground and get ready to go home, look up on the mountain. The star is being lit for you in your honor today. And it says, "The star on the mountain shines brightly as a tribute to your 14 years of dedication and service with Ysleta Independent School District Board of Trustees for District 6. And it's recognized by the Chamber of Commerce as an official starlighter." So there you go.
Thank you. This concludes our recognitions for this evening.
It's going to have to be awful cold for her to wear that, right?
To thank everyone in the Ysleta District 6 area for their support and their votes. Every time I ran, they were always there for me, and I want to thank you. We've done great things for Ysleta High School pattern and our district, our entire district. I'd like to thank my beautiful family for being here. That was quite a surprise for me, and I know many of you came down that busy freeway, and I appreciate it. And Fred and Margie, thank you also for being here this evening. I really sincerely appreciate it. It's been my pleasure to serve the district for 14 years. I would do it all over again if I needed to. But now it's time to pass the ball on to someone else. Should have an opportunity to do the best they can for their community. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Mrs. Reyes, do we have requests for citizen input? You're back up.
Yes, Madam Chair. Shane Haggerty.
I wanted to take this opportunity to apologize to our teachers of Ysleta ISD. Last week, the nation celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week, and many of our campuses had special celebrations, and I want to thank our principals for their efforts. On Sunday, I tried to add a recognition agenda item in celebration of our teachers. I submitted a request immediately after receiving a notice that the agenda would be changed to include a recognition for an outgoing board member. I was told that the only way I could have my item added was to get approval from the board president, even though our board policy states that any board member may add items to the agenda. It's state law that any items added must be done 72 hours prior to a posted board meeting. The board liaison attempted to contact the board president, but there was never a response received before the 72-hour deadline. So with that said, I would like to thank our teachers for everything they have done in the classroom. You are the ones who have a profound impact on our students on a daily basis. It is because of you that students strive to reach for the stars and achieve their dreams. As a parent, I'm eternally grateful for helping me guide my sons to discover their passion and unlock their true potential, and who will go on to change this world. As a board member, thank you for making Ysleta the district that gives students the opportunity to build a successful life. My message to the teachers of Ysleta ISD, and know that I appreciate everything you do for all of our students. And I give you my word that next year, I will move to proclaim May to be your month. Thank you.
And that's all we have, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. During the May 11th agenda review, workshop consent item number 3 was pulled for discussion. Are there any other consent items you would like to discuss or any further discussion on the order of this agenda? May I please have a motion on the revised order of this agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Reyes?
I move to approve the revised order of the May 13th agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on the agenda?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration would recommend the order of the agenda as presented.
Sir, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on April the 8th, workshops and special meetings on April 6 and 15, 2015. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on the minutes as presented?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Reyes?
I move to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on April 8th, workshops and special meetings on April 6th and the 15th of 2015.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Woodruff. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, the administration would recommend approval of the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Dr. De La Torre, do you have reports for the board?
Yes, Madam President. On April 14th, we had the pleasure of welcoming 800 staff and volunteers at the annual Volunteer Recognition Luncheon at Region 19. We host this event every year to honor the volunteers who help out in our schools every day. This year, we had 4,400 volunteers who provided more than 271,000 hours of service, which is the equivalent of about $2 million in labor costs. On behalf of the Ysleta Independent School District and the Board of Trustees, we thank our school volunteers for their support. On April 24th, we had our second annual YISD at the ballpark at Southwest University Park in support of the El Paso Chihuahuas baseball. Our JROTC cadets, high school mascots, and drumlines participated in the pregame activities. I threw out the first pitch. The Riverside High School sophomore Ysleta Castaneda gave another outstanding rendition of our national anthem. It was a great night for baseball and another great night for the Ysleta Independent School District community. On April 27th, we launched a new program for teachers at our middle school and high schools called the Masters. Through this program, teachers can earn their master's degree in the core academic subjects, and the Ysleta Independent School District will pay their college tuition and fees. In turn, these teachers will make a 3-year commitment to teach advanced placement and/or dual credit courses in math, English, science, and social studies in our district. We look forward to welcoming our first cohort of 84 participants to the Masters this fall. These participants represent a cross-section of all of the 4 common core areas, and we're excited about the future of dual credit in the Ysleta Independent School District. On May 6th, we honored the contributions of our district's partners in education with an awards luncheon that was attended by more than 260 district business, nonprofit, and military leaders. We presented 4 awards this year for outstanding partnership. They included the University Medical Center, UTEP's College of Engineering, and others. We appreciate the commitment that all of our partners have made to our schools. The following day, we held a groundbreaking for the new Field of Dreams at Bel Air High School, selected by Western Refining to receive a $15,000 makeover of the baseball field. We'd like to thank Western Refining and the El Paso Chihuahuas for their generous gift to the Highlanders, and we look forward to partnering with them on future projects. Last week, our students, faculty, and administrators celebrated National Teacher Appreciation Week and School Nurse Day. National Teacher Appreciation Week took place from May 4th through May 8th to honor our outstanding educators who make a difference every day in the lives of our students. In addition, the state of named May 6th as School Nurse Day to honor these campus who help keep our children healthy and promote healthy lifestyles in our community. Our school nurses and teachers support, encourage, and care for our students, and we are grateful for their unwavering loyalty, dedication, and commitment to excellence. The state of Texas has also proclaimed this week as Internal Audit Week to highlight the expertise and contributions provided by internal auditors. On behalf of the district, I'd like to extend my appreciation to our internal auditor, Champagne Chi, and her staff for the essential role they fulfill in the Ysleta Independent School District. This Friday, May 15th, is our Century of Success Gala to honor all of our 2015-16 Teachers of the Year and Support Employees of the Year. This year, the event is being held at the Centennial Banquet and Conference Center at Fort Bliss. At the gala, we will reveal the winners for the district's top 3 awards: Elementary Teacher of the Year, Secondary Teacher of the Year, and Support Employee of the Year. We hope you'll join us Friday evening to celebrate the best of the best at the school district. High school graduations are right around the corner. Our first ceremony is Valle Verde Early College High School. That takes place on June 4th at the Theater. Our final ceremony is the Del Valle High School commencement exercise on June 9th at UTEP on Haskins Center. We look forward to seeing you all there. Our congratulations go out to the class of 2015. We wish them all the best in their college and career goals. I'd also a moment lastly to just reflect on something that I think is a testament to how our district is received and respected throughout the state of Texas, and that is we had several visits over the course of last month. We had the Kingsman Independent School District that was visiting the Ysleta Independent School District on 2 occasions to learn more about our micro-society program at Sageland Elementary School. They're hoping to take it back to their school district and introduce it. We were thrilled to welcome the TASB leadership cohort, a group of trustees from throughout the state, interest in how the Ysleta Independent School District conducts business, and spent the day with us. I'd also like to take a a moment and thank all of those who were very generous and accommodating to those folks making inquiries about our international language schools over the last month. And we had the Young Women's Leadership Network from New York City and Austin visit our district and consider our district for a future Young Women's Leadership Academy at one of our schools in the near future. So it really does, I think, present a fulfilling and rewarding opportunity to get to know the Ysleta Independent School District and all of the terrific things that we do every day, not just locally, but how they reflect well on us across the state and across the country. That completes my report.
Thank you, sir. The order of the agenda has been approved, but there are still other consent items that you may wish to discuss. Oh, yes, Mr. Kafka, the budget process. We almost missed you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Marty.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. De La Torre. Tonight we will briefly go through our budget update. The purpose of the presentation is to provide an update on the development of the budget for this coming year. And our objectives will be to identify the key elements of the process and discuss recent decisions and progress we've made. The next chart shows a recent history of our membership and average daily attendance. As you can see there, over the last couple years, we've lost 500 and 600 students each year, but we don't see the same reduction in our ADA for a couple of reasons. I think one is improved attendance, which is a good thing. And I think part of this reduction, if you dig a little deeper into it, is at our alternative schools, which don't generate a very good yield on ADA. So those two things have meant we are projecting for the coming year a reduction of 200 students and the same impact on our ADA. This is a history of the last several years of fund balance. The highlights being, I guess, 2010 or 9 to 10 when we changed our fiscal year, which had an accounting impact on this number. And as you can see, since that time, we've been able to pretty much manage even through the lean years of 12 and 13 when the legislature cut our funding without a major or a long-term loss in that fund balance. So we're projecting right now to end this current year at a small, about a $500,000 increase from our booked audited value of 80.9 in the past year. The assumptions we were making in creation of this new budget are on the revenue side, again talking about projecting a loss of a couple hundred ADA, and there was a revenue enhancement that was given to us this current year by by the state because they had added a increase in the TRS employer contribution, 1.5% of all of our salaries. So basically that was funded for the 1 year this year. It's not right now booked to be funded for next year. So that will have an impact on our revenue, all of the things being equal. On the appropriation side, we really should show a 200 student reduction there. I guess I made my first mistake with that typo, but we'll correct that. The campus staff over the course of the year was reduced by about 70 positions in the general fund, and at the campus level, and at the additional reductions at the central departments. One of the biggest year-to-year comparisons that we're going to see is basically a big increase in benefits because of that 1.5% increase in charge we just talked about, as well as an increase set aside we had to do for our employees' health fund. We put in $1 million into this budget when the budget was developed, and another $3 million was put in January. So that has a half-year impact on this year, but carries forward into the new year at full impact. And there is one other increase that is self-imposed. We're going to put a little bit more money into E-rate funding because we are obliged to spend or to to contribute about 85 or 15% of the net revenue we get out of this program. So we're asking for a little bit more money this year. Our contribution will likely go up. Our strategy, which we used to basically develop this budget, was primarily to right-size campus staffing while reducing supplementally funded positions. We went through particularly the elementaries and made for a more uniform staff configuration. We just mentioned there, build a more consistent model. Some of our campus replacements on the paraprofessional side through this year, we have chosen to try to fill through reductions in our central office staff, so that has added to our reduction through the year. And in the last 6 months, we have gone through a process of evaluating the programs we have and the initiatives, many of which are representative of those additional staff that we've been talking about. And basically, we are making some adjustments there. Also, because we had been funding a lot of our staff in categorical funds and Title I funds, which are a little more volatile than our general fund, we are trying to slowly, over the next couple of years, pull some of those people out of our categorical funds. And when they're pulled out of Title I, if they can't be reduced out, they're going to come into our general fund. So there's a little bit of a negative impact there. As I think we show on this chart here, the total staff reductions at the classroom level or campus level were about 82 positions, or $3.5 million. Again, because of the Title I reassignments we just mentioned, we put 7 or 14 people back into the general fund because we relieved them out of Title I funding, freeing some of that money up. But that had a negative increase of about $800,000. And then because of the increase in E-rate funding, we basically, all of the things being equal, had about a $2 million reduction. That was the process of grinding through our campus reviews. Major initiatives that we're also building into the system for this coming year, the biggest of which is a new student accounting system. We've had a system transition for about the last 3 years. We've gone through 2 systems that were found to be inadequate and are being, in fact, discontinued this coming year. So we're going to go out for a very organized transition to find what we hope will be more of a Cadillac-type system. One of the new, we've actually been testing Imagine Learning at a few campuses. It's coming on a little bit more mainstream in the coming year at a cost of about $1.1 million. This is an English language acquisition program that shows promise. 2 math initiatives that we're adding funding to this year are guided math and TCM math assessments. The small item, but we wanted to include it here because of its impact, is we've had a robocalling system for the district for the last 4 or 5 years that allows us to contact all parents whenever there is an emergency or any other reason we need to get word out in a very timely manner, and that system has been found wanting the last year or so. So we're going to be doing over 2 years an upgrade of that system at a fairly modest cost, at least in the first year. All those things, and I'm sorry, I think I jumped away from the title, were about $3.3 million, which when built into what is now the budget, fully developed and real numbers, compared to the current year's budget at an increase, all things, a little less than $1 million budget to budget. As always, we project based on about spending 97% of our budget, which means our expenses will estimate down to about $356 million, which coincidentally happens to match our anticipated revenue. Of course, the revenue is still the big unknown. I think the House is meeting tomorrow to debate House Bill 1759, which showed a lot of promise to us, but fell short in a lot of ways in terms of a permanent fix. And it's apparently not getting a very strong reception. So that doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to get any money. The budgets that are proposed on both the House and Senate side are putting in some additional money, but this particular methodology of spreading that money is not likely to go anywhere, apparently. In terms of the legislative developments, as we mentioned, the current budget, not yet merged on the House side, was to put about $3 billion into the total foundation system from year to year. There have already been models run by district to see what the impact would be, and for us, it's in the range of $9 to $10 million. On the Senate side, their budget, again, yet to be merged, includes about $1.5 billion in new educational funding, with not much of a plan on how they're going to distribute that money. Right now, the fight seems to be between what kind of tax relief they want to give. The House is committed to a reduction in tax. The Senate is committed to an increase in the state homestead credit that residential homeowners get, now $15,000. They want to bracket that up to what will start out at $45,000. So really what they're fighting about. They're not really debating or agreeing on exactly how they're going to come up between the two differences in educational funding or how they're going to distribute the money. So our hope is in the next couple weeks they'll find a resolution on that. And with that, that's our calendar. Remainder of the budget year, we're at May. We have another workshop scheduled for Wednesday the 27th. We hope by then we'll have some legislative news and have a much clearer picture about what our real prospects are, revenue. And then we will have a budget meeting late in June to finalize the budget. And in August, we go through the process of doing the tax roll and setting a tax rate. That's all I've got. Are there any questions or? Thank you very much.
Mr. Kafka, you said something about in Austin, the legislatures. Are they having problems right now?
Well, I'm not sure any more or less than they usually do. There's always a debate between the groups on what they want to do. The debate is not so much about whether they want to give us any educational funding. They both seem to agree on that. Their real dispute is about what kind of tax relief vehicle they want to use, and we don't really impact, that doesn't really impact us either way. So we hope they resolve that and get around to our side of the equation.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Kafka? Thank you, sir. The order of the agenda has been approved, but there are other consent items that you may wish to discuss. Is there any other items that you may wish to discuss? If not, may I have a motion on the remaining consent agenda items listed on this agenda?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Haggard.
I move to approve the remaining consent agenda items by the administration.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Woodruff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. We will now address the items pulled off the consent agenda. Consent item number 3, consider and take possible action to approve award of YISD solicitation number 215030 RFQ-RB, Financial Advisor Services Rebid, during the contract execution date, May 30, 2016, with the possibility of 3 one-year extensions for an estimate of $250,000 from various funds. Trustee Haggerty, you had pulled this item.
Yes, ma'am, I just wanted to put this one to a vote.
Any discussion? May I please have a motion on consent item number 3?
Madam President, I move to approve award of YISD solicitation 215030 RFQ-RB to First Southwest Company, LLC for the Financial Advisor Services rebid during the period, the contract execution date through May 31st, 2016, with the possibility of 3 one-year extensions for an $50,000 from various funds.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dueñas. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration would support the recommendation as presented.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. The Board of Trustees has determined that a closed meeting of the Board of Trustees is required to discuss the items set forth in the posted agenda for this date. Such closed meeting is authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.001, including but not limited to the sections and purposes covered by the following section of the Texas Government Code: 551.071, 72, 73, 74, 76, 82, 821, 83, and 84. Should any final action, decision, or vote be required with regard to any matter considered in closed session, the final action, decision, or vote shall in the open meeting or at a subsequent public meeting with notice. The board will now move to the Rio Grande Room for closed session. I reconvene this meeting with the following present: Ms. Dueñas, Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Woodruff, Mrs. Reyes, and Mr. McLean. We will now address the posted action agenda items. Action item number 1, consider and take possible action to approve board travel for various board members to the TASB Summer Leadership Institute in either Fort Worth or San Antonio. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Ms. Mrs. Reyes.
I'd like to just mention to the entire board, the incoming board member, this is a great leadership program. I think it's very beneficial for all board members, experienced incoming board members. I think it's very important for many of you that can possibly go to please attend, because it's very, very beneficial for all of us. Thank you.
Ms. Dueñas?
On behalf of the, like I had said on Monday's meeting, on behalf of this, I do want to say for the record on some of these items. Travel.
Go ahead.
Oh, the board travel. Well, since we're doing the TASB traveling and everything, I think I also find that it's, like Ms. Reyes said, and very helpful, especially for the new board members. It's very interesting because you learn different things every time you go, especially when you have different people in giving the instructions on different topics. And so every time you learn more because it is different, so it's very helpful. Thank you.
Any other discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 1?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Reyes.
I move to approve board various board members to the TASB Summer Leadership Institute, SLI, in either Fort Worth or San Antonio.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Woodruff. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, the administration supports the attendance of board members at the TASB Summer Leadership Institute in either Fort Worth or in San Antonio, Texas.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Was it a yes, Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
We'll move on to policy action items. Policy action item number 1-A, consider and take possible action to adopt on first reading TASB policy review, recommended revisions to policy AE, local educational philosophy. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Mr. Haggard?
I don't see why we're passing 10 different policies the meeting before the new board members come in, and I'd like to table these policies until such time as the new board members come in to have a chance to look at it and vote on it.
Are you making a motion, Mr. Haggerty, on policy item number 1A?
I'll wait in case there's more discussion.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Reyes.
I agree. I think with that, because of training that I did take at UTEP back in December, and some of our, it was a very embarrassing situation with all the board of trustees throughout the region, from Anthony, Texas, all the way to Tornillo. We were right in the middle of I guess an exhibition on our policies, that some of them are incorrect. I think we should take a different way of especially with our new board members coming in. I think we should all do the boards like the trainings like we did, look at the policies like we did before in a group, and discuss what we're going to be removing and what we're going to leave on there. And maybe we can stamp it this way. We're removing a lot of things that we have questions to, and we can't answer, or nobody can answer back to us, and we're just approving something that we don't really understand, or why. I think we should wait, like Mr. Haggerty said, and we should get more opinion on this.
Any other discussion? May I please have a motion on policy item number 1A?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Haggard?
I move to table policy action items number 1A through 1J until the next regular board meeting in June.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dueñas and Ms. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration serves the board and sees no hardship in postponing the discussion until the board is comfortable discussing the items.
Thank you, sir. Were any of these recommendations, Mr. Sapi, were they any legal changes that we need to approve?
No, ma'am. None of these appeared to be of a legally important nature. They appeared to be primarily clarifications, updates, rephrasing, that sort of thing.
Okay.
None of them had a legal imperative to them.
Okay, thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
My final motion.
Do we have any information announcements this evening?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Woodruff?
this is on. I think it's supposed to be on, but it's not.
Is your other little button on?
I'm sorry.
Maybe try
There we
you
go. Thank you. Madam Chair, I would like to make an informational announcement.
I think it went unplugged again.
Thank you. Yeah, at this time, in fact, this very day, and it went out again.
You want to try this other one?
How about this one?
Yeah.
At this very time, a very special young lady is traveling from Bel Air High School over to the State Gymnastics Convention, meet. Her name is Jamie Esparza. She is a senior at Bel Air High School. She placed 5th at state on uneven bars with scores of 9.85 on the compulsories and a 9.7 in optionals. She was also selected based on her scores for bars and beam to the senior national team to represent Team Texas in Fort Myers, Florida. I just want to mention this because she has worked very hard all 4 years, and I believe that I just want to let her know that we're cheering her on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Woodruff. Ms. Dueñas?
Yes, I'd also like to announce that I'd like to congratulate one of our seniors at Riverside High School. Her name is Pat Rodarte. She has become, I know her since she was a little girl, baby. She has worked hard along with her parents. They've times, but she is up there along with her sisters, and I'm very proud of her. I do want to congratulate, and especially I hope she picks a very good school. She's been accepted to Stanford. She has also been accepted to Notre Dame, and I believe also to, and I think it's 7 other different schools, universities that she has been accepted, and I want to congratulate her. And I know she's going to pull through just like all of her family has. And I also am very proud of her and how she's this far, and she's just done great. And so, and especially with all the scholarships she's gotten. And I'm very proud of her. Thank you.
Any other informational announcements? Any other discussion or comments?
I'm going to miss you.
Oh, Miss Marty, we are all going to miss you. Well, I definitely am going to miss you. Thank you for all that you've done for Ysleta, and thank you for being a mentor to me. And it won't be the same.
Been my pleasure to serve. Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.